Hey there, my name is Drew Brashler, and in this video, I'm going to be diving into the intricacies of saving snapshots on your Behringer WING. Now, if you're brand new to my channel, I'm all about helping you feel more confident with your production gear, no matter where you're starting from. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, with snapshots on the Behringer WING, we have this new firmware 2.0. So if you're not upgraded to firmware 2.0 on your Behringer WING, head over to behringer.com/downloads, type in WING up at the top, and download the most recent firmware, as this gives us a whole lot of different things for our board, including being able to save a show, snapshots, snippets, effects presets, and channel presets. But this video specifically is talking about snapshots of the Behringer WING. So let's go ahead and check out the library tab. So if we press library, the left-hand side of this is our file browser. So this allows us to create folders, to rename things, and if we have a USB drive plugged into the top left of our board, we have our USB tab. So we have our internal file structure, and then we also have our USB file structure of our thumb drive of our USB. So if I was wanting to create a folder for this, so for instance, this is going to be show, and we're going to put the date. So 2023, and we're just going to put November 1st. Okay, and we're going to press create. So this now has created a folder here called show 2023 11/1. So I'm just going to go into this. Now, if this was a show that I was having on November 1st, and I had multiple bands that I was switching between, and I was just wanted to recall some of those things as the different bands are coming up, that's what we're going to do. So a snapshot takes a picture of the entire board. All of the input settings, all of the routing, all of your thresholds for your compressors and gates, every single parameter on your board is saved in a snapshot. So I have my mix set for my band 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and press save. And we're going to call this band 1. And I'm going to press save. So we have our band 1 here. Now, my band 2 has come along, and they have an extra electric guitar, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on channel 8. So I'm going to go and load one of my channel presets here. So I'm going to go to my channel presets, and I have an electric guitar, and he happens to have an SM57 on his amp, and I'm going to load it on my channel 8. So we're going to press load. So we now have our electric guitar, and I'm wanting to add that he is coming in on input, and that's going to be AES50A1. So we now have that there. Maybe there's another thing. So on my layer 2, we have some congas. So I'm going to go ahead and select this channel, and I'm going to go to my library and load up some congas for this, which is right here. So here's the high, and here is the low. And let's go route those. So I have that on AES50A2 for the high and 3 for the low. Okay, so we now have all of the settings for my second band, and I'm going to save this as a snapshot. And so I'm just going to go back over to my library, go to my USB drive, go to my November 1st show, and I'm going to select snapshot, and I'm going to save, and this is going to be band 2. So we can save that. Now, maybe band 3 has identical things to everything. However, some of the gain settings need to be changed. Okay, so I'm going to go to my kick out, and I'm just going to go and adjust my my gain down on this. And this is actually playing from my card. So let's go to my congas, and I'm going to put up the gain for my congas, and my conga low has a lot of gain that he needs, and my vocals need a little bit different compression settings, so we're going to bring the threshold down on these just a little bit, except my last one needs a little less compression. So I have set all of these things, and I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to save this as a snapshot as band 3. Perfect. So I have my 3 bands here. So I can go and select my band 1, and I can press load. So for instance, I'm going to turn all of these down, and I'm going to go ahead and select band 1 and press load. Now, I have recalled all of my settings on the entire board for my first band. So remember, we added an extra electric guitar here on 8, and then on these 2 channels, we added some congas for my band 2. But my band 1 doesn't have those. So when I recalled, it saved over top of this with all of the settings from my band 1. Maybe I'm mixing rehearsal on this band, and my kick is a little bit too loud for this preset, or I messed up and I needed to adjust the compressor settings on something. Well, we can save over top of my band 1, or we can specify a partial update. So for instance, I'm going to adjust these fader settings down, and I'm going to go and press partial update. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press none on everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to only update my channel 13 and 14 with my fader settings. So I'm going to select channel 13 and 14, which are my kick out and kick in, and I'm just going to scope my fader, and I'm going to press update. Now, what this has done is this has only updated my band 1 snapshot with these 2 fader settings. So if I go and pull these back up and I press load, it's going to bring my faders down where I saved them. Again, I need to adjust them because it ended up that the mic was actually just farther away from the kick drum than we first anticipated. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these back up, and I'm going to update these 2 things again. So I'm going to press partial update, and I'm going to press none, and I'm going to go and select 13 and 14 and update the fader. But as I'm saving this, I am also mixing, and the toms were a little bit too loud, but I'm still updating these 2 faders. I'm going to press update. Now, notice I was adjusting these toms while I was updating that. Well, if I go and press load, it is going to bring these back up to 0, but it's going to bring them back to the original time that I saved this at the very beginning of this video. Remember, we've updated 13 and 14 twice, but we didn't update these faders. So I'm just going to press load, and we have loaded all of our original settings plus the updated fader positions for 13 and 14. Now, it doesn't have to just be faders. You can actually update everything on the board individually. So let's go take a look at this. So we have all of our sources that we want to be able to update. So we have our channels, our auxes 1 through 8, which is our aux ins, so our aux channels. And then we have our mix buses 1 through 16, my mains, my matrix, all of my sources, all of my outputs, my DCAs, mute groups, and effects. And then once we select what we're wanting to update, then we have the contents, or we even have the configuration of the actual board. So for instance, if I had changed my faders on my lights on the board to be dimmer, when I save that snapshot, it's going to save those things as well. So if I wanted to update just the LED light amount, then let's go ahead and cancel. We'll go to my setup, go to my surface, and let's go and turn off these LEDs. So I'm just going to go like that, and we can see that they are very, very dim now. So I'm going to go back to my library, and I'm going to do a partial update on band 1. I'm going to select none except for my surface, and I'm going to press update. And then when I press load on this, it's going to load my snapshot the way it was, but with my dimmer LEDs here. And so my engineer 2 comes in for my second band, and he wanted those nice and bright, and we will see that that returns it to its bright settings here. Now there's another thing called partial load, and this is actually pretty helpful. So say my band 1 saw the congas and was like, well, we want to have some congas too. And so they decided to put them in their set. So I'm going to select my band 1, and I'm going to load this. And I'm going to go look at my channel 23 and 24, make sure those are empty, because that's where my band 2 had those congas. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my band 2, and I'm going to do a partial load. And so this allows me to specify what we want to load from this snapshot to my current configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and press none, and I'm going to press all on my contents, and I'm going to select my channel 23 and 24 on this. So here's those two channels, and I'm going to press load. And so now what we've done is we've taken my band 1 settings, and I've added my congas in. So now I could go to my band 1 and I could go and either partial update and update only the 23 and 24, or I could update the entire snapshot. So let's go ahead and do channel 23 and 24, contents all, and we can update. And so now when I go and load my band 2, it has my congas, and my band 1, it has my congas as well. But remember, when I saved this snapshot for band 1, all the rest of the stuff was saved for my band 1. Now, my band 2 still has that guitar that was added on my channel 8, and we can notice that that did not load into my band 1 because we only updated and loaded the channel 23 and 24. Now, like I was saying, the snapshot takes a picture of every setting that's on the board, and when you load it, it loads it instantly. So there isn't a crossfade between our snapshots when we load them, and it just recalls them all at the same time. So when you are loading a snapshot, make sure that it is in a quiet section of the song. Otherwise, there will be an instant change in maybe your levels or your EQ. So just make sure that it's kind of a quiet section in between songs if you're loading snapshots of multiple songs together. Now, this brings me to the conclusion of this video. I hope this video was helpful for you today. If you do happen to have any questions, or if there's a video that you're hoping that I would make on the Behringer WING or any of the other mixers that are out there, please post that in the comment section down below, as I'm always reading through those comments to find videos that are going to be helpful for you. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my website at drew@brashler.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.